A viewer of mine has a very specific problem. They're seeing low circulation for a certain format of books in their library, and they've come to us for help. I'm going to share some tips and give you the opportunity to help out as well in this episode of the Library Marketing Show. Hi, everyone. I'm Angela Hursh from superlibrarymarketing.com. If you want to head on over there, you can click on the Contact Angela tab to ask me a question that will be answered in a future episode. You can also click on Contact Angela to share kudos, where we talk about great work in a library. And I'm getting a lot of kudos nominations. I love that. It makes my life easier. So be sure to nominate a library for kudos at Super Library Marketing. Speaking of kudos, we're going to begin today with a nomination. This comes in from Mary Short. So thank you, Mary. And Mary is nominating the Hennepin County Library for their limited edition artist prints library card. I'm going to put a link down below to an article about this card. There's also a link to the library's webpage where they talk about the card, which was created due to a partnership from Paisley Park, which is a place you can go in the St. Paul, Minneapolis area to explore Prince's life, music, and enduring legacy. This card is available at all 41 Hennepin County Library locations. I bet it is super popular. If I lived there, I would totally get one. Good job, Hennepin County Library. All right, let's get into today's topic, which is about the placement of certain formats of collection items in your library and how that can impact your marketing. So this was a request that came in from a library staffer. I won't say this person's name, but they said, one thing I've noticed is that our new physical audiobooks have low circulation. They're kept downstairs in the news section, away from the audiobooks on the second level. So in other words, the new audiobooks are with the other new books, and the older audiobooks are in a totally different section of the library. And it sounds like it makes sense to put the new audiobooks with the new releases, but maybe not. And this might be something that this person is noticing, because strategic placement of collection materials in your library really is half the battle of marketing them. Trying to come up with some tips for this person, I did some research and I was interested, I guess, to discover that physical audiobook listeners are habitual and they are often loyal to a specific browsing zone in a bookstore or a library. The audiobook marketing industry advice says that you have to align content with the place where listeners are already looking. So even though it makes sense to put the audiobooks with the new releases, it seems that the audiobooks are not, the folks who listen to audiobooks are not looking in the new releases. So I would say it makes sense to move the audiobooks up with the other audiobooks and maybe make a display of new releases near the older audiobooks. Now, if your library has a problem like this with two parts of a collection where you're putting a format in with the new releases and then you're putting the rest of the format in another spot, and they are insisting that they keep that separation, one thing you can do is add shelf talkers to each of the different locations to drive visitors from one place to another. In other words, at the new release section, you could say more audiobooks are available here on the second floor or wherever it is. And in the section where there's older audiobooks, you could say, if you want to find where all the new audiobooks are, they're with our new releases on the first floor. And one thing I want to encourage you as library marketers to remember is that we should not be promoting collections in format. We should be promoting the collection for the thing that they solve. So audiobooks are often something that people listen to, especially physical ones, in the car on road trips, or, if you have an actual CD player in your house anymore, you can use the physical audiobooks there. That should be the focus of your marketing, not the format. So now I'm curious, has your library had a similar issue where you've had a format or a part of the collection that's just not circulating? How have you solved that? What kind of marketing tips do you have for this reader? Let's get a conversation started down in the comments. And that's it for this episode of the Library Marketing Show. But my channel is full of other tips for library marketing. If you want to learn more, head to this next video. I will meet you there.